No checkpoint Charlie on that pata of a wicket in Pune, and yet Bangladesh manage only 256 in their allotted 50 overs. Expensive spell for Shardul Thakur, but Ravindra Jadeja, absolute gun player, 2 for 38, 2 for Bumrah as well. One of those, that magical Yorker that got the wicket of Mahmudullah. Siraj picked up 2 expensive, gave away 60 of his 10. Litton Das, half century. Tanzid Hassan started the proceedings very well for Bangladesh. Mahmudullah playing an absolute blinder of a knock of 46 of 36 to help Bangladesh go up to 256 for 8 in their allotted 50. Is that going to be enough or not? We'll find out from Joy Bhattacharjya and Zaheer Khan. At one stage, it looked like they were on course for 300. Then the middle overs choke where India really pulled things back. And then suddenly you thought, because of Shardul Thakur's expensive bowling, they were back on track. How would you look back at this first innings?
Well, I think when you have anything in excess of 250, 260, you can fight from there, So that is something which Bangladesh team will be thinking at this stage. Yes, a lot has to go your way. You need wickets with the new ball. It's an open ground, open field. You don't have these huge stands there on this ground. Evening breeze. At times you will see that little bit of help for the seam bowlers. We'll have to wait and see with the new ball how it's behaving. So that one aspect everyone will be very keenly watching. But they had the platform. It's just those middle wickets is something which didn't really help them keep up with the tempo. And you've seen that's one department where Indian team have been very consistent. Whenever there is a partnership building, they are able to pull things back, and that has been a good sign for the Indian bowling unit. Today was no exception. So even though you're getting that start, you are actually not seeing bowlers getting defensive, or you're not letting the game slip. You're still staying in the fight and then crawling your way back into the game. And that's what these blocks are also suggesting. That 10 to 20 overs and 21 to 30 overs, they managed to take 4 wickets. And that really put the squeeze on. The run rate had a straight impact because of that. And that's the case every time. So I think wickets, keeping that approach of thinking wickets is something as a bowling unit is very important, and this team is doing it. So that's one good thing for Indian team at this stage.
Joy, in that first 10-over phase, it was a story of 2 contrasting halves. In the first 5 overs, India gave away only 10 runs. And then the back 5 of those 10, India gave away 53 runs. Perhaps it seemed like Bangladesh were in the mood to drop anchor and make sure they stay as long as possible, because the runs were anyway going to come on this pitch.
Yeah, look, I like the way they played. They started beautifully. Exactly as you said, they played out. They gave respect to somebody like, the quality of Bumrah. Siraj also, they saw him through. There was one, maybe LBW, the India should have gone up, but that's a different matter altogether. But after that, they really opened up. And because the pitch is true, you could just step back and just hit the bowler over his head. It's that kind of pitch. Once they realize that this pitch is a true pitch, it gives something to the bowlers, but it's a true pitch. They played it like it was. So till that, 14.4 overs, they had 93 for no loss. And that's when they when they started losing wickets, the one thing India did well was consistently take wickets. No partnership after that really stayed. Look at that, 93, 110, 129, 137. After that, there's no partnership which is more than 30 runs.
We've got to talk about the first 93 runs though, especially Tanzid Hassan. Up top, in the pre-show, we spoke about how Bangladesh's issue, the big issue is that there is no one to set that platform. We spoke about how Miraz could open as well, but Tanzid Hassan seemed to bat very fearlessly. He was okay to go after the big bowlers as well. Got a few freebies and a few loose deliveries, but Tanzid looked good to you?
Absolutely. I think both the openers did the job for the team. Tanzid Hassan in particular, batting at a good strike rate. And what was standing out was the fact as soon as Shardul came on to bowl, he was not afraid of going after him.
Yeah.
Those 2 sixes, 1 over covers in that region over long off was a special shot. He has those wrists which he uses nicely to play over square leg and on the onside. But the approach was really good. When you are set, the new bowler coming in, that really puts captain under pressure with using his resources, because he has to then shift from his plan, go to the next bowler, and that's what he tried to do with Shardul, knowing that Hardik now is not going to be available for maybe a certain time or for bowling. you suddenly putting the new bowler under pressure was a good approach at that stage.
Also, in the absence of Shakib, Bangladesh needed a lot of runs up top, and these two did the job well.
I think they did the job well. What disappoints me is later. But first let's stay on this. Again, Litton is normally considered to be the aggressor. And what I liked about Litton today was, given that Tanzit had really got going, he allowed Tanzit to play his game. He allowed him to be the aggressor while he sort of took a back seat. And I think it works that way, because when you're seeing in a partnership somebody striking it well, take the single, put him on strike, let him hit the ball. He's hitting it cleanly. So I think he did that very well. The disappointment is after that. And for me, the biggest disappointment is, if I'm looking at that scorecard, you see somebody like a Taurid Hriday. And what did he get? He got in 16 runs in 35 balls.
Yeah.
And I think that was really costly for them, because what happens when you get that kind of run rate at that stage? Mehdi got out early, and it's not his day. Every day is not your day. Mehdi Hassan is one of their better players. But once Taurid brings the run rate down so much, everybody else around him is under pressure as well to score runs. And when I see that, when I see that batting card, the one thing I ask myself is should Mahmudullah be batting at 8 on this lineup?
Should be at 5.
At 6, no,
Yeah,
sorry,
5 or
at 7.
6. 6 also is fine, I think.
Yeah. But 7?
He's looked in form also, so that one thing they can surely think of. He's in the side because of the finishing role, and he's playing that role beautifully. So they can look at maybe creating that scenario for him. If someone is in form, you can alter that thought process a little bit. But this batting card, clearly you can see that if there was one partnership just a wicket or two earlier, would have made the difference of 40 runs comfortably.
Easy.
And that's the difference you're talking about. It's small margins. When you look at a good start, the platform is set. After that, it's just that one partnership creates a huge difference in that total. And that's where Bangladesh missed a trick with the bat in hand today.
Is it a defensive move to hold Mahmudullah back for the later overs? Because there was no Shakib today. If Shakib's around, one can understand why they'd want him lower. But today, there was a stronger case for him to go up the order instead of Tauhid Hriday, because Tauhid Hriday looked lost, because before him, Litton Das had gotten out as well.
Yeah, see, Hriday basically chewed up a lot of balls.
Yep.
And then when he started wanting to accelerate the first ball, he goes and hits it up in the air. So that's the problem. The problem is that he just couldn't soak up the pressure. When you've played that many balls, the point is that then they need you to make it count.
Yeah.
The worst thing you do is chew up a lot of balls. And when you're set, then some other batsman has to come, feel the wicket, get set, spend another 7-8 balls. So that was what really hurt them very badly. And I still, as I said, leave aside Mahmudullah for a second. Why is Mushfiqur Rahim batting below Tauhid Hriday? If you look at it that way, okay, Mahmudullah is a finisher, you want him around the 30th, 40th over, I can still understand that. Why is Mushfiqur batting so low? He's clearly one of your most competent batsmen, one of your most experienced batsmen. Give him more time. Give him time to establish, give him time to play. Because he also was under pressure because of the slow scoring between Taurid and Mehdi Hassan Miraj.
Only 33 runs between overs number 21 and 30. Litton Das slowed down as well. He had the best seat in the house as he got to watch his opening partner do his thing. He was playing very well, big shots coming through. Litton Das slowed down, and just the way he got out, it seemed like he was trying to somehow up the ante. And then got holed out at long off.
I think that phase of the game, if you look at how Indian bowlers were operating, you got to give credit to Kuldeep and Jadeja both. I think today their role was the bowling innings defining role which they played. After a good start, Kuldeep coming in, and what's happening with Kuldeep, and that's consistently you seeing batters struggling against him, is that they're not able to pick his length properly. Yeah. Even today that was on display, and Jadeja was just outstanding, I think, today. Against the left-hander also to get a wicket like that speaks volume of his confidence at this stage and plans. So that's one thing going for Indian bowling attack. The spinners, the middle overs we often speak about. Yes, you have the added advantage now of bringing in Siraj and Bumrah both. And what Rohit is doing smartly now, he's bringing in Siraj first. Yeah. And then he's going to Bumrah around 35th over mark, which is creating that nice setup where batters are looking to just shift gear. These two bowlers are coming. They're bowling 4, 5 overs, 6 overs between them. And that has been working for Indian team. So spinners doing their job. I think today a lot of credit needs to go because they didn't start the way they should have started, the seamers.
Yeah.
And then spinners coming on, putting that squeeze on, getting wickets. So between Jadeja and Kuldeep, they've taken 3 wickets at that stage.
Yep.
Was actually the match defining phase, the innings defining phase with bowling for Indian team for sure.
Safe to say that the two Indian spinners have ensured that we don't spend too much time talking about Hardik Pandya's injury.
Yeah, and it's also very interesting. I was just looking at the way they're using Kuldeep, and Kuldeep is bowling as late. He bowled 2 overs in the final 10.
Yep.
He bowled the 41st and the 44th overs. That means they also have the confidence that they are throwing the ball to him, saying that if they are 5 or 6 wickets down, they're really going to struggle. You know, a new batsman coming in to face Kuldeep is really going to struggle trying to understand him, trying to get, because you don't often play a left arm wrist spinner. And I think India's ringing the changes well, because what is the one pattern you've seen in the last 2-3 matches? That teams have got off to starts, teams have looked playing India easily, and suddenly India comes back and starts taking wickets.
Yep.
It's happened against Australia, it happened against Pakistan, it's happened here as well. And I think even to a certain extent against Afghanistan, that you're looking set, but somehow India keeps finding a way to get wickets, and somebody's putting up their hand, you know, whether it's Jadeja, whether it's Kuldeep. And because they are the ones who are crucially the early phase, we're not getting as many wickets as we think we could. It's that middle phase that's giving us value.
There's something about Ravindra Jadeja, just 38 in his 10 overs, just keeps asking questions. And sometimes his discipline seems to take the pitch out of the equation.
No, he's one bowler. If you give him wicket early in his spell, he's going to make sure that it's a good day, and that's we've seen with him today. That brilliant catch as well. He's just a great individual to have in your playing 11 because he can be in the game anytime. So that is something which goes in his favor. Today, this performance goes a long way because there's not a lot of help from the pitch. And we've seen normally with Jaddu, you know that if there is help on offer, then he becomes very effective. But today, there was not a lot of help. On top of that, there was a good partnership at the top. So when he came into bowl, it was not a very easy run for him.
Yeah.
But he created those situations for the team where he got a left-hander out, he got the inform Litton out in that spell, was looked. He built pressure nicely. I think today when he was bowling, he used his quicker delivery to good effect. You could sense that the moment he felt the batter is going to look to put him under pressure, there were deliveries which he bowled over 100 kilometers per hour, which is a decent one. I think that 101, 100, normally spinners bowl around 90, 95, that's their quicker one. But today, Ravindra Jadeja was bringing in his shoulder, maybe he was fresh with the shoulder to give that extra revs and zip in the ball.
36 dot balls in that spell just completely sucks the life out of a batting momentum.
Yeah, and that's why. So it's basically creating that scenario for the team and going with that. So that pressure is what you're talking about. That 10 to say 11 to 30 over mark is something which is standing out when you're looking at Bangladesh had to go a couple of notches down in their intent, and that after that it was always not going to be that easy. And you know that even if you get to a total, it's going to be this kind of total which you're seeing right now, 250, 260.
Yeah.
With the Indian batting lineup, you know that if you get a decent start, they will be able to chase this total down. So that's what is important when you're bowling first, and an Indian team is doing that well, which is a great sign.
Ravindra Jadeja is a gift that keeps giving, and he's not just a wicket taker, but at times his celebrations make the news as well.
Yeah. I mean,
We've seen that video of them announcing the best fielder of the match, and a medal is awarded. Jadeja said to the dressing room, "I won the medal." That's a celebration.
He's already ready. I've done it. This is it. This is the moment of the match. Give it to me now. Don't bother. Don't wait that long. You might as well give it to me now.
And that catch was of Mushfiqur Rahim in the 43rd over. So how crucial was that moment?
Important catch, and he hit the ball really hard. And we were looking at it in slow motion and wondering, I mean, how fast does the man react? And that's what I'm saying. Even if you see a couple of fielding situations also, just when you see, I'll tell you one thing, no batsman likes to scramble in his crease and dive. It breaks your sort of demeanor and all. So he puts them under pressure even when he's not hitting the stumps by just throwing so fast. The big thing about him is, when they say about fielding, it's how fast you recover and how fast you release.
Yeah.
Because see, hitting the stump is one of the things. Accuracy, sometimes you will miss. But if the release is fast, the batsman has to dive.
Yeah.
And then getting up and sort of getting your composure back again. He is, as I said, he is one of those characters in the team, And he gives a bounce to the team. And, having a great fielder at that point position is such an important thing.
After that Pakistan game, in that dressing room awards ceremony, the best fielder award went to KL Rahul. He's also a contender. Who would it go to? That catch, 100 catch to get rid of Medias and Miraz, I think it was.
Yeah.
Does he get the medal or does Jadeja get the medal?
You already announced it.
I just thought he was asking for it. Who would you pick, Zach? You're the expert here.
You're just putting yourself under pressure. You started with DK, now you've gone here with Jaddu and KL.
I think Indian cricket can afford 2 medals. But if they had to give one, who would it go to?
Well, I think it's a long tournament. You have to go for KL just because he's not a regular keeper, right? So he's doing a job for the team right now. Jaddu, we all know he's done that so many times.
Yeah.
And he's sort of expected to do all these kind of things. So I think Rahul in the dressing room will be inclined towards Rahul, the keeper, for sure.
I'd love to watch that video from the Indian dressing room. Also, the one thing that created a happy stir on social media was to see Mr. Virat Kohli come in and bowl after 6 years. I think it was in one-day cricket. Just 3 deliveries, but it was a good sight.
It was a good sight, and
I wish he didn't have to, but well, he had to. Those 3 deliveries.
Yeah, nostalgic, and perhaps, as I said, he must be looking at it, wondering this may be the last balls I'm ever bowling in a World Cup. So, it's a big day because obviously on a normal day he wouldn't be bowling. But yeah, let's talk about the elephant in the room now.
Shardul Thakur and his bowling figures. Is that a cause of concern for Indian fans? Is this performance going to force Dravid and Sharma to rethink their playing 11 composition for New Zealand Dharamshala on Sunday?
Oh, the pressure is already started to mount on them, isn't it? No, I think they will not. They will not really look at it, and they should not also so soon. If you are planning with something, if you believe in something, then you have to create that scenario and situation. Yes, if Hardik's update is not in their favor, if he's going to miss the game, then I think it's going to be that time in the tournament for them where they have to rethink. Right now, they're able to walk in matches with this kind of a thought process because of the 6th bowling option, and that 6th bowling option is Hardik, and who is equally good with the ball. On a good day, he will give you 10 overs. So that is something which is going to change if his ankle is in bad shape. So I think it will all be dependent on how the update on his injury. Once that update comes, you will be able to figure things out, whether it's a short term, long term, all those kind of factors will also come into play. I hope it's not going to be that serious and he's going to take the field. It looked a little bad because he didn't take the field after that. So if he's going to come to bat or not, that is something which we have to wait and see, and that update is going to be crucial.
Now, India play New Zealand in Dharamshala on Sunday. Then there's a 7-day gap before India's next game, which is against England on the 29th. Sorry, Joe, you're saying something.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. That means, assume if there's something which is not great, he has about 10 days to recover and will miss 1 match for India.
Yeah.
So that is not such a bad scenario, but because this gap could come in crucial. But the question is, there are 2 ways of looking at it. One is, you say that Hardik is out. I can put in a pure batsman. Okay, there are 3 ways of doing it. One, pure batsman.
Yeah.
I put in a pure batsman. I put in Surya Kumar Yadav or Ishan Kishan, and I say, that's it. I'm putting a batsman out here. You 5 bowlers do your job. Okay. If you are not looking at that, if you put in, say, somebody like an Ashwin, then your batting then becomes that much weaker, because you have to say that Hardik is a better batsman than Ashwin. Then do you make a double change? You bring in Ashwin as well, and you bring in Shardul, Shami replacing Shardul.
Who's a better batter, Ashwin or Shardul?
I would say it depends on what you want to do. But see, if you want to bat at number 7 or 8, you want a guy who's going to hold up one end. Ashwin can hold up one end. Ashwin may not be the most attacking batsman, but he's got 5 test centuries or 4 or 5 test centuries. So, I mean, he can definitely do that.
Dharamshala, assuming Hardik's not available, of course, Indian fans will hope that he is. If he isn't, given it's Dharamshala, we've seen how the pitches behave there. Would you go with Shami and Ashwin, double change?
It all depends on the pitch, and it all depends on how you want to go about it. So if you want to go in with replacing Hardik if he's not available and replace him with Surya, then you will need 5 good bowlers.
Yeah.
So it depends on how the pitch is, and then you basically go in with your best 5 bowlers to be able to give you those 50 overs.
Yeah.
Because mind you, and that's what we often keep talking about, the balance which Hardik gives to the playing 11. If he's able to contribute with the ball and bat, then you can do a whole lot of things. Then the Shardul also fits into the playing 11 comfortably.
Yeah.
If he's not going to be available, then they'll have to figure out a way for sure, because then you're looking at all the bowlers bowling 60 deliveries on a tough day, and you got to be prepared for that. And what are your options around that?
The BCCI tweeted about how Hardik Pandya has been sent for a scan. We haven't heard anything thereafter. I know you're not a doctor, but not hearing anything thereafter, is that good news for India or bad news for India?
You can't look into it. Yeah, I think the best thing to do is just wait for the official announcement around how good, bad things are. Right now it's just a guesswork, and you don't want to just shoot in the dark. It's better to know the scenario. What BCCI have been good with is communication and the transparency. So once you get the update, then after that we'll be able to analyze how the team will be thinking or in which direction they'll be going in.
I know a lot of you seem to follow text commentary on the Cricbuzz app, so we'll try and update you on Hardik Pandya's injury and what's likely to happen in the next game. So make sure you sort of keep an eye on Cricbuzz's text commentary section. We've got a question on hashtag AskCricBuzzLive. Let's take a look. It's coming from Agya Singhal. In what otherwise looks to be a stellar campaign with all boxes ticked, what do you think will be the first stumbling block for India in this World Cup? It's a classic Indian middle class thing, isn't it? When things are going well, you're still thinking about, oh, what if things go wrong?
Absolutely. And I think you've got your first stumbling block, Hardik Pandya's injury. I mean, if it's, hopefully it's not a serious injury, but and I'll tell you why I say it. The 2 most difficult players to replace in this Indian lineup are Hardik Pandya and Ravindra Jadeja. Because what happens is the moment one of these go, the balance of the team totally changes. See, it's not that difficult for a Ishan Kishan or Surya Kumar Yadav to walk in if one of the batsmen is gone. All those are easy to do. Bowler goes, you put in a Shami, Siraj is down, you put in a Shami, not a problem.
Yeah.
The moment you have to replace a Hardik Pandya or a Ravindra Jadeja, you're in trouble. Because you don't have any all-rounders of that quality outside at all. And there's nobody sitting on the bench. I mean, so that's the problem. So India's biggest problem is if it wants to have 6 option bowlers. If you have to have 6 bowlers, then you need at least 2 proper all-rounders. And we are playing with 2 proper all-rounders and what we call 1 bowling all-rounder in that sense.
Ashwin. Zach, for you, that first stumbling block?
I wouldn't go in that direction at all. It's just about reacting to whatever is happening. Today's injury, no one would have thought that Hardik will not be bowling, and he's been in good form. But these are things which you can't have any control over. You can, if you have the approach of whatever is at your disposal, just keep thinking of what you can control and look at the positives, or how you're going to create the similar impact what you've been creating so far in the tournament is something which is going to matter. So any forced change which is going to be, which they will have to deal with, they'll have to deal with at that stage.
Yeah.
It's a very easy thing to talk about all these things. But the fact of the matter right now, it's just 1 inning over in this game. The game is still not over. And I'm sure the team management will also be looking at it that way. Right now, they'll be just focusing on what's the job in hand, get over and done with that, and then think about all these things. Then look at the schedule. There are certain things which are going their way because their break is coming at the right time.
7-day gap.
So
yes.
so that gap will be very useful But the first thing is they need 4 wins on the board, and for that they have to bat well, go out there, get this win under their belt, and then look at what are the issues, what are the challenges which they have.
Yes, the job at hand for now for India is to score 257 to register their 4th win and possibly go top of the table by toppling New Zealand, who are at number 1 right now with 4 wins. 257 to score, Joy. We've spoken a lot about Shubman Gill, Rohit Sharma, clearly the favourite of this season. Virat Kohli is always there on cricket conversations. KL Rahul has been a part of a lot of these conversations, but Shreyas Iyer, after his comeback, has looked very, very good. That 100 against Australia, and then that half century, a touch slow, some might say, but this man looks like he's roaring on his comeback, as that graphic suggests.
No, absolutely. That century, I think that century in that match against Australia really set it up, because that was the man coming back after a long time. He was supposed to be injured. Then, he came back, but he's still injured. When he got that century, that sort of brought Indian heartbeats down a little bit, under control. And then, of course, he's got that 50. Look, I think he's a brilliant, brilliant player. And again, one-day international is probably his best format. Yeah. Plays the ball well, brilliant against spin. They say he's short ball he doesn't like very much. But the honest fact of the matter is there are not too many batsmen in the world who like short balls too much, especially if it's bowled at 140, 145. So I think there's a lot going for him, and I think he's very important to the campaign, because if he and Rahul control it, because what we have done so far in this tournament, which is really good, is batting. We've not had easy victories. Okay, we've lost early wickets once.
Yeah.
Okay, and we have managed to come back and do it. We've not got wickets up front, and we've come back and managed to do it. I think so. Resilience is a great part of the Indian team. And I think that 4 and 5 for me as crucial positions, the place where KL Rahul and he are batting. I think they've done a great job together.
It's a great luxury, Zach, to have a player who's such a good player of spin bowling coming in the middle overs in this kind of ODI format where there are just 4 outside in those 30 overs. You need a player like Shreyas here who likes to attack spin bowling.
Yeah, and there are examples of how teams are actually struggling after getting a good start. Yeah. Not able to get to that total what we're talking about. Today's batting example is also that another example of that fact. If you've got a good start, then it's middle order's responsibility to keep the tempo up, build that partnership first, and get the team to that total which sets them up nicely for that last 15 overs. And that is why middle order is so crucial. And what Joyda was saying, I completely agree with him. They've not had it easy. They've seen that pressure when the situation is on the other side, you've lost early wickets, and now as a middle order you have to go out there and absorb that pressure and then build that partnership. Yeah. So that is something is very important for the whole batting lineup. So your 6 batters are going to take that responsibility, and this batting lineup have been taking that responsibility and making sure that you don't lose those opportunities that way. Asia Cup also was another example of that, where Hardik and Ishan made that partnership. That game didn't finish, but at least you've given yourself that chance. You're not completely out of the game. Yeah. So bowling team and batting team, I think that's the way the game goes, and you have to do just enough on that day to make sure that you're falling on the right side of the result. So that's how things are going to go in cricket. And if you're thinking like that, then there is no blame game that, our bowlers didn't do the job or our batters didn't do the job. It's about collectively finding a way of getting and falling on the right side of the result. That's what good teams do. They're not looking at all these other challenges. They're just making sure that they are doing enough to with the bat and ball to win games of cricket.
Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill have found their way out into the middle. Shoriful Islam will bowl the first over. Time for predictions. If I may go first.
First, have you congratulated him?
Well done, sir.
Oh.
Spot on predictions. Spot on.
Exactly. So he gives the award.
4 and short.
He gives an award in Germany, gets an award here. Always. He's the man with the awards.
So I think you and I need to go to Berlin and come back for some luck. Someone please invite us.
Tell the producers, please.
Yeah, maybe in the next episode of Cricbuzz Live from Berlin. What is that? Charlie Point. What?
Checkpoint
Charlie. May I go first with this one?
Absolutely.
Rohit Sharma loves Bangladesh, especially in ICC tournaments. So I'm going to say 80 for no loss. India in the first 10.
I think you've been spending too much time with Virendra Sehwag downstairs. This is a very Sehwag kind of prediction. Bangladesh, 80. Okay, now I'm more conservative, 61.
I'm even more conservative. I think evening breeze is definitely going to play a part. They might take a cautious approach today. They're not going to go flat out after the bowlers. And that's why I'm saying, how many did you say? 50?
61.
61. I'm going to go 55.
All right, all of you India fans, make sure you share your predictions as well on Twitter. And we'll see you once again at the 15 over mark on Cricbuzz Combox. Enjoy the second innings.